Do you ever catch yourself daydreaming about early retirement, but then life gets in the way before you can even try to figure out what does it even really mean and what would it take for you so this becomes a reality? I know I do. That's why in this video I will go over the 5 steps you need to take when contemplating early retirement. What is your magic number, meaning how much money you need before you can retire, how to get there, and how to calculate by when will this be possible for you. There's even a life hack that we could all use to make this a reality much faster that I will also share with you in this video. As usual, at the end of the video, I will share with you my early retirement plans, so don't go anywhere now you're here. Hi, my name is Vido, and I'm here to help you better understand the wealth game and become part of the wealth game nation. As the name itself says, it's just a game that the wealthy play, and the sooner you realize it's just a game, the sooner you can learn the rules of the game and take part in the game. On this channel, I cover everything related to personal finance, investing in the stock market, cryptocurrencies, real estate, and everything related to the game. So let the games begin. In case you come from a wealthy family, or you have married somebody who is wealthy, then you can stop watching right here. This is of course assuming you're not a masochist who loves watching us, the common folk, struggle. In that case, feel free to keep watching and enjoy our struggle. For the most of us, early retirement is just a dream, but a life without dreams is not worth living, so let's dream a little bit together. First, let us establish what does it mean to retire early. If we look at it literally, this means that at the time you retire, you stop working in the traditional sense of being employed and getting a monthly paycheck in exchange for your time. Traditionally, this happens usually around the age of 65 or after 40 years of employment. Now, if we look what early retirement really means, this is simply our own desire to be free and to be able to do things that make us happy without having to worry about the monetary impact this would have on our life. This is why nobody dreams about having a bank account full of money, but we all dream about things that a bank account full of money would enable us to do. I personally haven't experienced such a feeling yet, but I bet it must be an exhilarating feeling to get up in the morning and be free to do whatever you want and know whatever you do will not have a negative monetary impact on your life. So I'm looking forward to reaching this goal. So, how do we retire early? I have put together a 5-step plan on how to get there, so let's dive right into it. Step number 1. Have an understanding of your yearly earnings and expenses. If you have seen any of my videos before, you will know that I'm a big advocate of the money management system called the JAR system. I have been using the system for over 10 years and it has done wonders for me. If you don't know it, check out the video in the description below where you can also find my very extensive Excel sheets that you can download and use for yourself. Step number 2. Calculate your magic number. Your magic number is simply the number of how much money would you need to have in order to retire and not worry about money for the rest of your life. Obviously, everybody will have a different magic number depending on their lifestyle and the location where they live. Now, we will do an exercise and calculate a magic number of my imaginary friend named Otto. I would have asked a real friend for their magic number, but sadly I do not have any friends, so I gotta stick with Otto. You can calculate your own magic number by taking your yearly expenses you did in step 1 using my automagical Excel spreadsheet, the JAR system. After Otto and me did his calculation, we found out that his yearly expenses are $30,000. Let us assume that Otto will be taking 7.5% in profits from his magic number when he retires. This would make Otto's magic number around $400,000. The math behind this calculation is $30,000 divided by 7.5%. However, we will also need to consider taxes and inflation. First, let us take care of the taxes. If we assume a 15% taxes, then Otto's yearly expenses would increase to $35,295. Again, the math behind this calculation is $30,000 divided by 85%. Next, let us take into consideration the inflation and assume an average 2.5% inflation over the next 20 years. This makes Otto's yearly expenses to be $57,835. For inflation calculation, I have used a Smart Assets inflation calculator and the link to that calculator in the description below. Finally, let us calculate Otto's magic number, which takes taxes and inflation into account, and this turns out to be $771,134. Again, the formula used here is $57,835 divided by 7.5%. Step number 3. Calculate how long would it take for you to get to your magic number at the current pace of your income and outcome. Now that we have figured out Otto's magic number, let us calculate how long it will take to get there. At this point, we all know it will be a nice big number. It's also wise to prepare Otto to have his dream crushed once again. Also, after Otto and me did his calculation step 1, we found out that his current yearly income is $40,000 after tax And if you remember, his yearly expenses are $30,000. For those of you who cannot do the math in their head, this would mean that Otto is able to invest $10,000 per year. If we plug this data into an investment calculator, link in the description below, we can see that Otto would be able to retire in just under 22 years. This retirement calculation makes following assumptions. Otto's current annual expenses equal Otto's annual expenses in retirement, meaning he will not be spending more money in retirement on his imaginary expenses than he does right now. Otto will never draw down the principal. His net worth will never shrink, meaning his $771,134 will always stay the same. Otto's current annual income is after taxes. Otto did not have any money to put down as initial investment. In case you have some money to put down, this will be a great accelerator. Otto's yearly annual return on investment is 10%, which is the average of the S&P 500. Otto also has a buffer of 2.5% in his retirement plan, as he is only taking 7.5% of his profits, which should lead to his net worth increasing also during his retirement. Step number 4. Create a strategy how to get there earlier. As Otto is 25 years old at the time of this recording, he will be 47 at the time he is able to retire. Even though this is better than retiring at 65 years, Otto would like to retire earlier. In case you also come to the same conclusion that you would also like to retire faster, let's examine what can you do in order to get there faster. A couple options come to mind. First, improve at your current job in order to make more money. Try to advance in your job, learn additional skills, or get more certification that will make you more indisposable and therefore make you more money. Second, there are many different side hustles that you can get into to make some extra money in your free time, and a lot of videos about side hustles, so I will not be going into those here. 3. Reevaluate your spending from the jar system and try to save more money. I know this is an obvious one, but if you are able to save more money, then your retirement will also come faster. Last but not least, combine forces. If you're lucky in life to have found your significant other, then 2 incomes should result in having more money to invest, which will also get you to retirement faster. Step number 5. Execute your strategy and don't give up. Make sure that every once in a while you revisit your strategy, make sure you are on the right path, and if needed, adjust. If you find value in this video, I kindly ask you to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends. This helps me a lot when you guys do it, and it does not cost you anything. In return, I will do my best to help you become more financially literate much faster than I did. By sharing my insights, my journey, and teaching you the rules of the game that the wealthy play, you will be able to take part in the game in no time. At the beginning of the video, I mentioned a life hack that could help us retire early. Turns out, there are 2 life hacks that I can think of, and those are: first, retire somewhere where it's relatively cheap to live compared to your current location. For example, if you're living in a big urban city like London, Vienna, or Boston, where the living expenses are high, you can plan to retire in a rural area close to a lake, a mountain, or a seaside, where the living expenses are less than half from where you are living right now. Number 2, try to time your death. I know this sounds bad and scary, and believe me, it is. But for the sake of the example, you can also retire before reaching your magic number, slowly use your principal over time in your retirement. Here, you just gotta make sure that you die before you run out of your retirement money. This would of course be very risky, very immature to do, and I would not recommend this. Also, in the beginning of the video, I said I will share with you my own magic number and my plans on how to get there. For me, early retirement would not mean that I would quit my job, as I really like what I do. Even if for some reason I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now, I could never be unproductive and not do something that does not earn money. I could never be a couch potato with my hand slightly down my pants and just vegetate. I assume most of people wouldn't either. In my case, this is because all the things that I like mostly do make money, as I'm into real estate, stock market investing, and cryptocurrencies. My magic number turns out to be slightly below 1.2 million euros. As probably everybody else's magic number, this is not a small number, and I do understand that. But with my calculation, I would need about another 8.8 years in order to reach that number. As we are talking about dreams here, my goal is to reach this number in 6 years. So let's see what happens. My plan to get there faster is to outperform the average return of the stock market, real estate market, and the cryptocurrencies, which I am confident that I can do. Also, in my case, I have been working towards this goal for over 15 years now, so it's been a while. My other assumptions for the 8.8 years are the same as in Otto's calculation, with assuming just an average annual return on investments of 10% and an annual withdrawal rate of 7.5% in retirement. This also means that I would also have a 2.5% buffer in case the returns are not as great as the average return of the last 100 years. And it also means that I could theoretically live forever and not run out of money, as my principal would never be decreasing. Theoretically, after I pass away, the base would still be the same as the day I retired, if not even higher. So that was the retirement talk with the magic number calculations. Now, you tell me, what is your magic number and when do you think you will be able to reach it? Don't be a stranger and leave a comment below, as I'm really curious to read about it. That's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and I will see you in the next game. What was that, Otto? Oh yeah. We can go for ice cream right now. I'm just about finished now.